Hi boys and girls, happy Monday. I'm so excited to teach you a new subtraction strategy today, the -0 and the -1 strategy that makes it really easy to subtract that kind of problem. So what you'll need to subtract with me today is this paper inside of a plastic sleeve and your whiteboard materials. So go ahead and press pause, get everything together, and come on back and hit play when you're ready. Okay, so the strategy we're doing today is how to solve problems where you're subtracting 0 and subtracting 1. You don't need dots to do this strategy. I just want to teach you the strategy using dots. So we're going to practice a couple with dots, and then mostly we'll practice without dots. So let's start together by doing 4 minus 0. Remember, the 4 tells us how many dots we're starting with, and the 0 tells us how many dots to take away, cross off, or erase, whichever way you want to do it. So let's draw 4 dots together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we drew our 4 dots, and then 0 is how many we need to take away. So we're not taking anything away. That means that we're left with 4. 4 minus 0 equals 4. The -0 trick shows us that when we subtract 0, we are left with the same amount that we started with. 4 minus 0 equals 4. Let's try another one, and let's try to not use dots this time. Let's do 7 minus 0. When I'm doing 7 minus 0, I'm starting with 7, I'm taking nothing away, and that means my answer is still 7. 7 minus 0 equals 7. So the -0 trick is pretty easy because the answer is always going to be the number that we started with. When we're all done with the video, if you want to keep practicing more -0 problems, you are going to go to I'm on the wrong page here, page 11 in your math workbook, and you have tons of problems to practice. They're the up and down way. And so each time, your answer that you're going to write is actually just the number that you started with. 1 minus 0 equals 1. 2 minus 0 equals 2. And you can go through and practice all of them, and that's a pretty simple way to subtract 0. We're going to talk now about subtracting 1. So I'm going to erase my work here. You can erase yours. This is also pretty easy, but this one takes a little bit more practice just to get the hang of it when we're subtracting 1. Let's do, how about 5 minus 1? 5 is the number I start with, and I take 1 away. So I'm going to draw 5 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, I need to take 1 away. After I take 1 away, I have 4 dots left. 5 minus 1 equals 4. When I take away just 1, my answer is going to be 1 less than the number I started with. 4 is 1 less than 5. So we don't really need the dots to help us. When we see a problem like this, we can just think, what's 1 less than the number I'm starting with? Let's practice another one with the dots just one more time so we can kind of see that strategy a little bit more. Let's do, let's do 8 and -1 because today we're practicing the -1 strategy. Okay, so let's draw 8 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I'm going to subtract 1 dot. You can erase or cross off. It's totally up to you. 8 minus 1 equals, I have 7 dots left. 7 is 1 less than 8. So when I'm subtracting in the future and doing 8 minus 1, I just have to think in my brain, what's 1 less than 8? And the answer is 7. Let's practice one now without using our dots to help us. Okay, go ahead and erase. And let's do, how about 6 minus 1? Okay, now to solve 6 minus 1 and not use dots and just think of the -1 strategy, I have to think in my brain, what's 1 less than 6? So think right now, what's 1 less than 6? We've practiced this before. 1 less than 6 is 5. That tells me that 6 minus 1 equals 5. If you want, you can go into your math workbook and keep practicing more minus 1 on page 12. And so as you're practicing these, you're just thinking about this number that you're starting with. So this one is 6, and it's minus 1, like we just did. What you're thinking of is what is 1 less than 6? What is 1 less than 7? What is 1 less than 8? And that's going to be your answer each time. So families, decide what works best for you. You can practice in your workbook. You can keep practicing here on the mat. You can practice out loud if you want to practice some questions where you ask your child 5 minus 1 and 8 minus 0 to mix it up a little bit. But this strategy, minus 0 and minus 1, helps us answer questions a little bit more quickly without having to draw any dots or count backwards on our fingers. As always, let Mrs. James and I know if you have any questions, and have fun subtracting.